Here's part 2 of our introduction into the Black and White series. And so here's Henry starting his story without any more interruptions. We pulled over and no more directions being spoken from the maps program. We're going to just listen to my friend. So please hear him out. Here he goes.
I was telling Saeed that my son and I had gone to dinner. And we were on our way back to the apartment when, as we approached the apartment, 6 or 7 deputies stepped out of the shadows and surrounded us and said we were under investigation for a robbery. I explained to them that we had just come from dinner and I still had the credit card receipt to show we had just left the restaurant. However, we were detained for over an hour. Our criminal backgrounds were run. They brought the people who were supposed to be the ones that were assaulted to identify us, and we had nothing to do with it. And I'm saying this just to reiterate the injustices and the indignity that people of color have to go through on a daily basis. Although you may not be involved in the activity, any type of illegal activity, you are profiled just by the color of your skin, how you carry yourself, and just your overall perception. Fortunately, my son was able to learn a valuable lesson in terms of the injustices and inequalities that he's going to have to deal with as a young man. And he was able to see firsthand how and some of the things he's going to have to go through within his whole lifestyle.
So just basically, by being black, you're going to have to pretty much experience things that a person with a lighter colored skin is just simply not going to go through. I mean, is that what you're saying?
Exactly. You have to be diligent and have enough foresight, because they want you to overreact when they confront you with these outrageous innuendos. And you have to be sharp enough and on point enough to speak with them in a reasonable, intelligent fashion to diffuse the bullshit, because they're going to try to get you upset to try to arrest you for whatever reason. So you must be diligent, keep your focus about you, don't be caught out under the influence, and just be aware of your surroundings and the environment that you're in. You'll come out a lot better, believe me.
It's interesting because when you're saying these things, you sound honestly like a lot of the things that females have to also tell themselves and tell each other when they go out in public. These are things that when I became aware of them, I'm like, wow, just to be a female, you have to have all these extra warning labels just to be safe.
Exactly.
And so the same thing goes with simply being a black and also a person in a minority in this country. It's just these things still exist. And not only do they still exist, like you told me that you actually have been incarcerated for 30 days in jail on something you had nothing to do with. No crime, no nothing. Is that right?
That is correct. I was on my way to a town in Washington called Port Angeles, and I had worked there and resided there before, and the lady wanted me to write a proposal for her. So I was going to meet her. I'm a college graduate. I have a master's degree in social welfare from a prominent university here. And I've worked in social work for over 30 years, working with people who are multi-ethnic, from all type of low-income backgrounds, public, private, and non-profit organizations. However, I was pulled over by a Washington State Patrol officer and arrested for a DUI. And I had drank a Bloody Mary with breakfast, but I blew only a 4.2 in the tube where the limit is .08 to be legally intoxicated. However, I was still arrested, kept in jail. I was not allowed to bail out. I was not allowed to make any type of phone calls. And when I went to court, the judge dismissed all charges because of the indignity and the injustice, the way I was treated as a citizen. And so all charges was dismissed. However, it cost me a tremendous amount of money. I lost my vehicle, and now I'm in the process of looking into the idea of retribution or some type of litigation against him because it was a false arrest. Thank you. And that was all done just because I was African American and was racially profiled. And the institutional racism runs not only through the state patrol system, but throughout the criminal justice system.
So I got a question. 30 days you were locked up for that?
Yeah. It took me 30 days to get out. They would not grant me OR, even though I went to court, and a lot of the individuals had charges which was more severe than mine, but they would not give me OR. They implemented a bail that I had to pay, and then when I was trying to pay the bail, the correctional facility wouldn't allow me to bail out. They wouldn't allow me to go up to the counter and pay the bail. I had it on my credit card. Therefore, I had to utilize my attorney to bail me out.
Wow. And I mean, that's the thing. So what I want whoever's watching this video to understand and to just get in your brain, like, you know, we need to stop reacting whenever we hear stories, right, that are of an oppressive nature towards our system. We shouldn't attach our hearts to the system, because we all agree, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or you're a white person or you're a black person, if you are somebody that's not in the 1%, or you're somebody that's not really affluent, or you're not somebody that's really profiting off this, you know, status quo, then the chances are you're also agreeing with a lot of the things that you think is wrong with our country. We actually all pretty much stand together in the same boat if you really kind of thought about things, because we're all actually taking the hit from the system one way or the other. And I really believe all of us agree the actual system needs a huge overhaul. But let's not look at some of the struggles that, you know, minorities are going through and discount their struggle. I don't get that. Why would you do that? These are our fellow Americans, right? These are our fellow citizens. These are, right, us. There's no difference if you think about it. So, you know, these stories are happening. You know, these lives are getting affected. People are getting hurt, and they're tired of it. And so why should we react against someone's struggle and try to discount what they're going through rather than empathize and say, that's not right? Why don't we do what we can as a whole to change it, right? The change starts there. And if we can imagine changing what the masses are going through on a daily level, not just getting killed, but even deeper than that, it's daily, you know, harassment. Adds up. It affects people over a course of a period of time. I understand what that's like. However, if we focus on actually stopping what shouldn't be happening in the first place, can you imagine then how much safer it would be for everybody else? That's just the natural order of things. And so we have to do our best to make this change and build these bridges and empathize with each other, get to know each other, and stop looking at each other like one side and another. Because at the end of the day, all right, George Bush, his cronies, all these presidents that we're all in love with, okay, all of them, all right, Mrs. Hillary Clinton, all these rulers of this world, all the rulers of all the different countries, they're all together, man, and they're not really on our side. They're not on our side. So let's stop killing each other over these guys that could really care less about us. That's my message. And let's change ourselves and change our attitudes towards each other, and at least use that energy unified to fight a way bigger monster. That's what I think makes more sense. That's my opinion, and may Allah guide us. And I'm going to continue doing our best to build our bridge between minorities and, I guess, so-called white majorities and whatever it is. You understand? We need to come together and stop killing each other and fighting each other and worry about really the real problem we all share. Thank you.